Oh hey look, a sponsored video. Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome to, yes, a sponsored video on Total War Arena. I would never do sponsored content for games that I do not like, so simply by the creation of this video you already understand at least my overall opinion about the game. In this video I'll be going over the game in general, what it's about, the good and the bad, as well as what the game holds for the future. And as a quick add-in, new users can use the link in the description down below to gain some early game perks, giving you a little bit of a jump start so you can dive into the good stuff quickly. Let's get right into it. Total War Arena was officially announced way back in 2013, and was then being developed and published by Creative Assembly alone. The idea of a multiplayer-only game where you command a small group of soldiers was an unexpected move for Creative Assembly and brought about a good deal of hype for the game's potential from the community. The game progressed into 2015 and 2016 with some open alpha tests only to disappear for several months for feedback and development. With the Total War community fearing that Arena was truly dead and gone, news broke in mid-November of 2016 with a partnership announcement between Wargaming and Creative Assembly, with Wargaming adding Arena to its line of multiplayer-only free-to-play games such as World of Warships and World of Tanks. Essentially, Creative Assembly did not have the means to handle both development and publishing, and so charged the much more veteran Wargaming with the online and publishing side of things, which would turn out to be one of the smartest moves for Total War Arena. As a result, Arena went from weeks of testing and then weeks of patching with no playing to consistent patches and a steady rollout of content to keep the game fresh in 2017 to 2018. What started out as, I believe, 6 playable commanders has evolved into 16 commanders with the newest addition as well as new maps, units, abilities, and revamped art styles. For a game that seemed doomed to fail at various points in development, it has transitioned into a game beyond Creative Assembly's expectations. Enough of the history of Total War Arena, as I've yet to tell you exactly what this game even entails. Total War Arena is a free-to-play, multiplayer-only, real-time strategy game that allows you to take command of a famous leader or commander from various factions such as Roman, Greek, Barbarian, or Carthaginian, leading him or her into battle with 3 units, also unique by faction. Each faction has upwards of 40+ units to choose from, allowing you to focus on the type of unit that caters to your specific playstyle. You play 10v10, i.e. 30 units versus 30 units, on various maps equal to your tier level, with lower tier maps easier to navigate and play on, while the higher tier maps require more strategy to use to your advantage. There are only 2 goals to achieve at the moment. Annihilation is pretty straightforward. Kill every enemy unit on the map and you win. The sometimes less violent way is to get your units inside of the enemy base, filling up the bar until you fully capped it, thereby winning you the match. The latter is harder in some ways, as all the enemy has to do is deal damage to the other team's units inside their base, decapping it. In each match, you gain experience for both your troops and commanders, which is used to upgrade certain aspects of your units, and allowing you to move up in tiers to unlock more impressive units. For instance, as Arminius, you start with some light cav in tier 1, progressing better horsemen until you eventually reach 10 tier noble horsemen, which is one of my favorite units from the original Total War series. Upgrading your general opens up a host of abilities, giving your troops various buffs that can be toggled either in a set amount of times or with the cooldown in effect. Each commander caters to a specific unit type. Arminius is a cav commander, giving abilities to both speed and charge for your cav. Julius Caesar is an artilleryman, buffing the ultimate ranged units, and Kanane favors her archers and provides abilities related to tracking units and providing quick mobility across the battlefield. That's not to say that you can't use other units with these commanders. In fact, almost all units are available to each of these factions' commanders. It's more that using units that fall in line with your commander's preferences will yield better gameplay that just seems to fit smoothly, but ultimately the choice is up to you. Arena in its current state is actually pretty smooth. Earlier builds had major performance issues, and looking back at the older versions, things like pathfinding, frame rate, and balancing have come a very long way, and all for the better. The game overall is just a beautiful game to both play and watch. The maps are all very laid out, allowing for a range of tactics to play out for either team, from laying ambushes in tall grass and forests or behind a wall, to seeing small gaps plugged by pikemen holding the line against several units. Seeing such a variance in unit types all playing in one battlefield is truly enjoying to see play out. In other Total War games, taking control of 30 units as a single person is a micromanagement nightmare, and usually you'll end up with several units always staying in one place until you can get around to giving them orders. With Arena, being in charge of only 3 units means there is constant movement, constant battles, and the playing field is constantly changing, forcing you to adapt to the scenario. This dynamic is simply something that cannot be recreated with one person in charge of 30 units, and it really separates Arena from traditional Total War games. Team play plays an extensive role in the success or failure of your team, and it's one of the greatest aspects of Arena gameplay, while also being one of the greatest thorns in your side. Playing as a team, either with friends or through communication with a group of randoms, creates a cohesion on the battlefield that pretty much guarantees your success. It is immensely satisfying to be able to pull off an ambush laid down by 4 or 5 units working together, or just simply covering each other's backs from any traps being sprung on you. Coordination in Arena requires communication, and when you have that coordination, not much can stop you. The exact opposite can be said when you don't have that connection or communication. Lone wolves tend to screw things up, getting themselves wrecked by not staying near friendly lines or trying to take the world on by themselves. Too many times have I seen a group of horsemen run into spears on the other side of the map, or allied archers get demolished by straying too far in front of the battle line. Aside from loners and go-getters causing a lack of cohesion, Wargaming's region-locked system causes one of the biggest issues to team play with friends and with randoms. I have several online friends over in Europe, and as such, my EU account has the highest levels and most experience. However, when logged into my EU account, I can't play with my buddy in the same state I live in because he's on his North America account. Region locking also presents language barriers. Since I primarily use my EU account, more often than not, I'm paired with people who don't speak English. Not being able to understand what a player is saying in chat makes teamwork almost impossible. And yes, the solution there is just to sign up for a North American account to play with my North American friends. But I shouldn't have to do that. And since I don't play a lot on the North American server, the time I've spent grinding for better units on my EU account doesn't mean jack, as I basically have to start over with the other account. There were rumors at one point about doing away with this system, and I for one would be incredibly happy if that were ever to come true. One of the biggest issues people have with Total War Arena is more of a wargaming business model than creative assembly, and it's whether or not this game is a pay-to-win scheme. As with all of Wargaming's games, you have the ability to use real-world money to purchase gold, silver, experience, and premium accounts that give you multipliers for XP and other resources in the game. There are even certain units available to you that you cannot get for free no matter how long you grind, only purchasable through online arena packages or using in-game purchases. On the surface, yes, that is most definitely appearing to be a pay-to-win business model to its core. However, I would like to counter that by saying this isn't a pay-to-win, more like a pay-to-level up. Before you start arguing semantics, let me explain. Yes, purchasing gold, silver, XP, and premium accounts gives you access to units quicker. But there does come a point where that will actually not work to your advantage, especially in the wargaming world. In Arena, the lower tiers are meant to help you understand things such as damage, attacking, and tactics. As such, certain actions will not have that much of an effect on you, including damage, morale, and friendly fire. That changes in the upper tiers drastically. If you are a newbie, wanting to pay to get up to your favorite unit, say at, tier 7, you are in for a major surprise. You will get destroyed repeatedly, almost for certain. Why? Because you don't understand the mechanics of the game. You don't know when the right time is to use abilities, and you don't know what units are best to counter with at those upper tiers. More obviously is the fact that there are players at these tiers who haven't bought anything to help them, and they have literally ground their way through tens of thousands of experience points to get to where you bought your way through. They are hardened veterans, and you're a grunt. It's as simple as that. Even the premium units are not going to lend a helping hand too much. Premium units in Arena are more presented just as a unique unit that may be able to do some things no other unit can. From a statistics standpoint, they aren't that much better than their non-premium counterparts. So in regards to it being pay to win, I don't believe that it is. Sure, it gives you a massive helping hand, but it's not as though you can use your tier 8 horses in a tier 2 battle. You will always be put in a balanced as can be map where tiers are as equal as possible, not really giving you any huge advantage over the enemy across the map. And that in of itself is counteractive to the typical definition of pay to win. The future of Total War Arena lies in what they've been doing since Wargaming took over, consistently releasing new content that will keep the veteran community playing and keep bringing in new players. And while Carthage is a relatively new faction, Arena isn't looking to keep the game in antiquity. I believe in 2017 during an arena showcase in Russia, it was confirmed that Japan would make an entrance to the series at some point. Rumored but not completely confirmed was the addition of medieval units into the game as well. The best way that Arena can really shine is by adapting all of Total War's games, both historical and fantasy. It'd simply be a matter of selecting your era or genre of game and loading into that lobby. But first, Arena has to get such a big fan base to where it can support all of those eras with enough players to be consistently active across the board. They basically just need to stick to what they're doing now, and they'll be able to bring those people in. Overall, I am very satisfied with Total War Arena. Their partnership with Wargaming was one of the smartest business moves they could have made, and I believe it is what saved the game from ultimately being scrapped. Gameplay is both beautiful and enjoyable. The consistent release of content across the board is something I love seeing as well. Do I recommend this game? Absolutely, especially because it's free to play. The game is great for those who have been in Total War for years and for those who have never played a Total War game. Aside from a couple of the issues discussed in this video, Arena will always be a Total War game that I'll continually play, even if it's only casually. Hats off to both Creative Assembly and Wargaming for doing some great work. If this is your first time hearing about Total War Arena, or you've just never felt the grab to play it, go download it today. First time players get that bonus, giving you the jump start to play around with more units quicker so you can find your niche. And for those who already play, a little tip. Using 2 different units gives you a 30% boost in XP and silver. Use that to your advantage. Thank you for watching. I truly hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with my videos. Enjoy the game, and if you see me on the EU or NA servers under HforHavoc, be sure to give me a shout out over chat. I'd love to hear how you're enjoying it. That's all for this video on Total War Arena. This is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next one.